Welcome to the Augmentative Communication Consultation Service AAC in Everyday Routines e-module. Through this e-module, you will learn why daily routines are important in AAC. You will learn how to use daily routines to create opportunities for communication. Daily routines are activities or tasks that are performed regularly during our day, such as dressing, eating, bathing, shopping, or getting ready for bed. When routines are used for teaching, children don't have to learn a new activity. They know what to expect during each step, making it easier for them to make the connection between the activity and the communication about it. It is often easier and faster to lead a child through routines. However, if the communication partner always directs the activity, the child becomes a passive participant, and there are fewer opportunities for communication. For example, giving the child juice before they ask for it does not allow the opportunity to ask for a drink. Or putting the child's shoes on for them does not allow for the opportunity to ask for help. Whereas if the communication partner waits for the child to respond, the child begins to understand how to initiate and become a more active and independent communicator. For example, setting out the child's cup, but not pouring in the juice, or waiting for the child to ask for help before putting on their shoes. Creating routines. Adjust the routine so that there is a need for interaction between you and the child. Set clear expectations. What vocabulary would you like to target? How is the child going to respond? You want to ensure that the child's communication tool includes the necessary vocabulary. Break the routine down into as many small steps as possible to increase opportunities and allow for repetition. Establish the routine. You will do all the work at the beginning. If this is a new routine, you will need to take the child through the routine step by step, performing all or most of the steps yourself until it becomes familiar to them. At first, your task is simply to make the routine familiar, not to draw out responses from the child. If it is not a new routine, you will be creating a teaching moment by modeling the vocabulary the child could use. Keep the steps in the routine consistent and predictable. Keep the language goals and vocabulary consistent within the routine. Wait until the child is successful with the current routine before adding anything new. Once the routine is established and the child is successful, extend the routine into new environments, such as restaurants, school, or childcare, and with new partners, such as teachers, peers, or grandparents. Let's have a look at some typical routines a child might have in a day. Through these examples, we will explore a variety of ways to create opportunities for communication. As the adult, remember, you get to decide how much flexibility the child has over directing an activity. Providing an opportunity for communication doesn't mean the child is the boss. As the adult, you have the ability to decide on the choices and set the boundaries. Providing opportunities for communication allows the child to express their ideas and preferences. It also means that the adult can still say no to the child. We might instead say, "I hear what you're asking, but that's not an option." You could then provide the child with an alternative option and allow them to respond. Getting dressed. The goal of the dressing routine is simply being dressed, and would include the sequence of picking out the appropriate clothes, taking off clothes, perhaps putting them away, and then putting on each new item of clothing. It is within this process that opportunities for communication and learning exist. This daily sequence can be done in a variety of environments throughout the day: home or school, childcare. And remember, in cold weather, the dreaded snowsuit routine may happen multiple times per day. Don't fear it. Instead, capitalize on the communication opportunities it can present. Choice making. If appropriate, allow the child the opportunity to decide what to wear. Once they have chosen an outfit, you might provide the opportunity to choose what goes on first: pants or perhaps the shirt, coat or boots, Other choices may include who is going to help with dressing, mom or dad, where to get dressed, in the bedroom or the bathroom. You might start with just one or two choices during the routine, but as the routine becomes more familiar, try to provide as many choices within the routine as possible to allow the child many opportunities to communicate. Labeling. Take the time to name the items of clothing. Labeling can help build vocabulary and understanding. We want to allow the child an opportunity to label without making the child feel as though they're being tested. To avoid testing, you might hold up the item and say, "Next, we'll put on your," and allow the child to fill in the blank. Socks. Commenting. During the dressing routine, talk about preferences. Does the child like or dislike the clothing item? You may also decide to comment on the weather. Is the clothing item appropriate for today? Take time to discuss the day's activities. Is the clothing item appropriate? Why or why not? What else might they need to wear? For example, the child might need shorts and a t-shirt for a hot summer day, but they might also need a bathing suit if the day's plan includes going to the beach. Requesting. To encourage the child to request items, you might try gently sabotaging the child's dressing routine. For example, give the child one sock, but not the other, so that they need to ask for the other sock. Or you might provide the child with a clothing item that they need help putting on, like a shirt with buttons, and wait for the child to ask for help. Anticipating what the child will need, but waiting for them to communicate that need, will help to increase communication opportunities and allow the child to speak up for themselves. Mealtime. The goal of mealtime is not only to eat, but to enjoy time together as a group, whether with family or with friends. The sequence of mealtime routine might include determining what to eat, setting the table, filling the plates with foods and cups with drinks, eating the meal, and cleaning up. This routine, or parts of the routine, allow for many opportunities for communication and can extend into a variety of environments including home, school, childcare, and even restaurants. Choice making. Choice making during mealtime doesn't mean that the caregivers need to create a separate meal for the child just to allow for choices. At mealtime, you might instead offer choices within what is already being prepared. Before offering choices, think about how much flexibility you will allow. Can the child choose what to eat? Or perhaps the child has a choice of how much of each item. You might offer choices regarding where to sit or who will be served first. Can the child choose a special plate or cup? Finally, within the meal, the child may also have the opportunity to choose whether they want more or they're all done. Labeling. Talk about the food you are serving. Label each item to ensure that the child knows what they are eating and where to find that vocabulary in the communication tool. As with the dressing routine example, we want the child to have opportunities to label without testing. For example, you might say, "We need the fork and allow the child to fill in the blank for spoon. Commenting. Commenting often comes naturally when we're eating, as this is a wonderful time to be social with family and friends. While at the table, you could talk about the meal, the likes and dislikes, what other family member might be eating, who ate the most, or who is eating the fastest or the slowest, maybe the messiest. Commenting can be a fun way to chat during a meal. Requesting. During mealtime, create opportunities to communicate by altering the routine. For example, you could act as though you have forgotten the cutlery, a cup, or a place setting for a family member. Wait for the child to ask for the missing item or items. Or you could try giving the child a cup and a pitcher of milk, but do not pour. Wait for the child to ask for assistance. You could do something unexpected, such as providing a spoon to eat steak, or start eating before the family has joined the table. Or you could even get silly and serve dessert before dinner, See what the child has to say about that. Refusing or rejecting. Communication should also include opportunities for a child to say no. After all, this is often a child's favorite thing to say. Mealtime is an excellent time to provide opportunities that the child can say no to. For example, does the child want their meat cut up? Does the child want more of something? Try asking if the child wants more of something you know is disliked. You might find that they're very motivated to say no way. Reading a book. The goal of reading a book is to enjoy time together and to share and encourage a love for literacy. The routine might include choosing what to read, sitting together with the book, turning the pages, and talking about the story. Choice making. There are many choices within this activity. You might begin with a choice of when to read, then choosing what you're going to read. How many books will you read? Where will you sit? And who will read with you? Labeling. Take a picture walk through the book. What do you see? Take the time to name the items in the book, the characters, and the actions in the story. Labeling while reading a book can help the child to understand what is happening in the story, while building their vocabulary to extend into the world around them. Commenting. Picture books provide many opportunities for commenting. Talk about what you see in the picture, what you like or what you don't like, and what is happening in the picture. You might even predict what might happen next in the story. As you're reading, link what is happening in the book to real life. For example, you might comment about how the character is similar to the child. Look, she has a big bed just like yours. Or, that duck loves to splash, just like you did in the swimming pool at swimming lessons. Requesting. Allow the child an opportunity to request to read. If you usually read before bedtime, you might try going through the whole bedtime routine but skip over the book reading part. Pause and wait to see if the child communicates that you forgot the book. While you're reading, pause before turning the page and wait to see if the child will ask you to turn the page before you continue reading. Playing with toys. The goal of playing is sharing in the interaction of playing with toys and allowing the child to lead in play. The sequences within this routine might include choosing what to play with, setting up the toys or game, playing, and then cleaning up. This routine can happen in a variety of environments such as home, school, or child care settings. Choice making. Many choices can be offered while you're playing with a child. You might begin with choosing what to play, but you can also include choices such as who will play, who will go first, who is last. Within play, you might offer choices about the activity. For example, while playing cars, you might ask if the cars will drive fast or slow. Where are they going to drive? What color of car will the child play with? And what one will be yours? Partway through the activity, you might offer to continue the game, or is it time to be done and clean up? Labeling. While playing, take the time to describe what you and the child are playing with by labeling the toys, the color, shape, or size of the toys. Labeling doesn't have to be restricted to just things, but can also include actions, positions, and descriptions. Commenting. Talk about the activity, what the child is doing, what you are doing, and what is happening around you. Take this opportunity to connect with the child. Use comments to show the child that you are enjoying the interaction and provide them with the vocabulary needed to connect with you. Requesting. Create opportunities for the child to request an item or an action. For example, when stacking blocks, try holding one up but don't put it on the tower. Wait for the child to ask you to continue. You might also ensure that the child has the need to ask for help by keeping toys in containers with difficult to open lids. Wait for the child to communicate the need for assistance in opening them. Shopping. The goal of shopping is to enter the store, choose and find items needed, pay for the items, and then leave the store. Each routine can be broken down into a series of smaller steps such as greeting staff, getting the cart, navigating the store, asking for and locating items, paying for the items, bagging them, and then leaving the store. Shopping provides an excellent opportunity to encourage communication within the community. Choice making. Throughout the shopping routine, there are many choices that can be presented, such as, do you need a cart or a basket? What are you going to buy? What color, size, or brand should you buy? Where to start in the store? Is the child going to ride in the cart or walk beside? Who will push the cart? Offer as many choices as possible during the outing. Labeling. The options for labeling while shopping are virtually endless. Use this opportunity to teach the child new vocabulary or to encourage the child to talk about what they see. Commenting. There's so much happening in a store. Talk about what you see, what you like, what you are or aren't going to buy, and why. You could talk about why you're buying certain items and what you plan to use them for. Requesting. Opportunities for requesting can be abundant during a shopping trip. Children are often excited about all of the items available at a store and may be motivated to ask for what they want. However, this doesn't mean that you have to buy everything on their wish list, but can open the dialogue to talk about what can be bought today and items that might be saved for another time. Greeting. Shopping is a great opportunity to work on greeting others. You may consider greeting the cashier or the person at the deli, the bakery, or saying hello to fellow shoppers. Opportunities for greeting will change depending on the stores you're shopping at and whether the communication partners are familiar to the child or not. You can begin to see that similar opportunities are available in all daily routines. You just need to take the time to look for them. Have a look at some of the things that you and your child do together daily and plan ways that communication opportunities can be encouraged. Keep in mind possible community places with familiar routines that can be used to encourage communication, such as hockey practice or parties, eating out, going to the movies, or visits to friends' houses. For other suggestions, see the Aided Language e-module, the Partner Strategies e-module, and the Core Content versus Fringe Vocabulary e-module. Thank you for watching the ACCS, AAC and Everyday Routines e-module. Please refer to the following resources for additional information and support.